We have Andre Petroski versus Jacob Malkoun. Obviously, Petroski, he is 10-2. He is 4-1 in his last five. He's actually coming off of that KO loss in the first round, pretty early in the first round to Michel Pereira. Jacob Malkoun, 7-3. He is 3-2 in his last five. He's coming off that loss, but he was obviously winning against Cody Brundage. He just did some illegal elbows to the back of the head, and they actually ended up disqualifying him. So tough loss there. He was winning that fight, well on his way to a KO victory, but that's the UFC for you. Sometimes there's just some crazy decisions by the ref, and that kind of stuff happens right there. Looking at the odds for this fight right now, we have Jacob Malkoun minus 210. Actually, he's turned to minus 200 just now, so minus 200. For this fight, I think I'm pretty confident in siding with one person, and the person that I'm actually going to side with is I have to side with Jacob Malkoun here. I think that he is the better fighter overall. I feel like Petroski is a little overrated. I mean, he has not improved much since entering the UFC. The only advantage that I see that Petroski will have in this matchup is that just pure Brazilian jiu-jitsu, because he is a pretty good jiu-jitsu player. I just think that that's going to be negated by Malkoun's wrestling and grappling prowess himself. I mean, I feel like he's the better person in this fight. Is going to mix it up with the striking and the grappling. And also, I feel like if this is a striking matchup, because both their grappling might cancel out, I feel like Malkoun's just shown me a lot more improvement on the feet. Petroski hasn't shown much technicality in terms of his striking. He has some good power just because he's a really big guy with some strength, but not good technical striking on defense or offense. I just feel like he is absorbing a lot more strikes. And you saw that with the last fight. I mean, he just got KO'd by Michel Pereira pretty early. I also think that he's on the gas later just because, his frame and body is more defined than Malkoun's, obviously, and he carries a lot of muscle, and he just has had a tendency to gas late in fights. And I think this is going to happen in this fight as well. Malkoun fights with a pretty good pace and gas tanks, so he's going to have the advantage the later the fight goes. I really liked Malkoun in his fight against Brendan Allen, who's a top ranked fighter in this middleweight division. It was a pretty closely contested fight. And honestly, it could have gone either way, 29-28. If you look at the scorecards for the media, it was pretty split, 29-28. So I think that was a very close fight. And I just feel that I like that fight more than any of Petroski's fights so far. So give me Malkoun via decision. I think this fight's going to go over 2.5. I'm going to keep track of it for now. Malkoun minus 200 might be something I want to play, but I feel like the over 2.5 could be a better value at this point. I don't see a finish here. I think that both these guys are going to do a lot of grappling on the ground, and it's going to be a lot of takedown attempts, takedown stuffs. I think it's going to be that kind of fight, and obviously we're going to get some striking, but I just don't think either of these guys are that dangerous on their feet, and it's going to turn into a grappling match, and I think the over could be a good play there. So yeah, give me the over 2.5 on that fight.